Hello, ladies and gentlemen of internet world, YouTubers, fellow YouTubers. Gonna be kind of an interesting walk tonight. It's a little breezy, it's a little cool. It's not cold by any means. The air is humid, sort of. We had very severe thunderstorms yesterday. Very severe. We even had a tornado warning. Tornado watch, actually. If you're not familiar with official weather wordage, a watch is kind of like a chance you may get one or may not. A warning means you're definitely going to get one. So it was not a warning. Anyway, thankfully we didn't get one. We did, however, get a lot of rain off and on and very severe thunderstorms. I have not seen that much lightning from one storm in a while. It got very dark and that lightning was going off like crazy. So anyways, I didn't go for my walk. So there's 2 days out of the last 7 I haven't walked because of weather. That's okay. I'll go for a walk tonight. Feels very nice. I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt with a 2XL t-shirt on top of that. Now I did do a test run, one of my last walks, where I mounted the chest cam, which is what I'm using right now. So put both arms out in front of me, it'll look like this. I do want to do a shooting video like this. But when I have the daytime camera setting on narrow, the camera goes back and forth like this on my chest. But at night, like it is now, it seems to be doing okay. And I know it is because I've already tested it with the night setting, and the super view lens, which is extra wide, seems to accommodate it okay. So anyway, it's about the time I'm going to feel a couple raindrops. There's some rain in the neighborhood. It doesn't say very much rain at all on the app, but that doesn't mean I'm not getting wet. So we're going to see what happens. I wanted to wait till it was dark to try out this camera setting again, because I had recorded with it, and the walk just really wasn't that good. So we got this thing here with this telephone pole. Looks like it's been through something. So anyway, we have a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Some politics, not so much all politics. I am interested in the debate it's going to have this week, presidential debate between President Trump and the crypt keeper in the White House, Joe Biden. Should be interesting. You got a lot of Republicans demanding a drug test prior to the debate. Of course, Joe Biden's not going to do that. Trump has already said he's absolutely no issue with that at all. He wants to have a drug test before the debate. The big news, however, that isn't big enough, is the state of Texas had a lawsuit that was going on about transitioning children, puberty blockers and all that stuff. And they filed a lawsuit, and somebody else filed a lawsuit. I don't have all the details on the lawsuit, but what I do have, because there's so much stuff going on right now, it's literally crazy. I think we're going to have a truck here. I'm going to wait till this truck leaves. It's a diesel. It's loud. Oh, they're backing up. So anyways, Supreme Court of the United States is going to be taking a look at this case. And if they rule in favor of the kids, we might see the end of transitioning children and the issuing of puberty blockers in this country. Because it will set precedent on what's happening with that stuff. Then many states will be able to pass legislation banning it without any legal arguments from the left. And there's also about 19 attorney generals across the country that are filing lawsuits against Maine's trans bill that they passed. So that should be interesting to see how all of this falls out. And this is the kind of thing I was talking about, that democracy is a slow, painful SOB. You got to go through the third branch, which is the judicial branch, to make any changes to the legislative branch or executive branch. Of course, we got Biden, who's also been stopped by a court for his $1 trillion student debt giveaway, where basically the court said that Joe Biden does not have the authority to throw debt onto taxpayers without Congress. He also had his Title IX changes stopped by the courts. And I think the strategy for the Biden administration, because it's not Biden doing this, it's his freaking little Marxists in the White House, is I think they're thinking that they'll just go ahead and do this stuff knowing that it's going to lose in court, but it makes it look like they're trying to get things done to their voters who don't understand how democratic processes work. They just want results. And if you try to do something and the courts overturn it, especially the Supreme Court, oh, well, that's Trump's Supreme Court picks. Trump did this to you. So that's what they're doing with that. So there's also a lot of suppression polls coming out this week because the debate is this week. It was expected. And the reason why they're called suppression polls is they come out with polls like this one is obviously geared towards young people, where they're saying that Biden has the lead with young people in the latest polling in independents. Not but 3 weeks ago, an ABC poll said Biden was down 20 points from where he was in 2020 with young people. So he's down with blacks, he's down with Hispanics. But the media is finally acknowledging that Biden has lost Hispanics and Trump is winning big with Hispanics. He's also winning in the swing states. So the White House is pretty desperate. They're even making up news that isn't news, and the media is not calling them out for it. That's really a sad thing about it. They're just going ahead, and I talked about this a few walks ago, but that Pierre woman was talking about these videos of Biden looking senile and doing dumb things. She's up there saying they're deep fake videos, they've been edited, and they haven't. They absolutely have not. So they're just blatantly lying. But they've been called out on it, and I think people know. Like the one where Biden froze up on stage with Obama, and Obama had to lead him off the stage. The mainstream media put 3 edits in that to make it look better. They're the ones that edited the video. Beautiful church. So don't know exactly where I'm walking tonight. I'll know when I get there. I can still see some changes in the sky up ahead, so I know the rain is not here yet, but the sky has been very strange all day. Low in the sky, fast moving clouds, and I was looking at the radar, and the rain was moving like in a circular pattern, like there's a low pressure thing like right above us. And all of the rain was just appearing out of thin air. So anyways, I'm gonna go for my walk, get my 5 miles in, maybe a little more. Maybe a little less. Well, I definitely won't do less than 5. Always do at least 5. That's that freaking homeless guy I see sometimes. He doesn't smile or anything. He's got a crazy look in his eyes. The eyes, Chico, they never lie. Let's hit the first mile. So I saw a film clip earlier, kind of the Russian version of Band of Brothers, where these Russians were going up this road in Ukraine and a drone struck and hit one of them, took him out. He's laying there and his arm is twitching like he's in shock and in a lot of pain, and he saw his comrade come up to him, and you could see him look at him and acknowledge, and then he just put his head down, and his comrade shot him in the head with a 7.62 by 39. Did not expect that. So whatever mission that those guys were on, the orders were if somebody was injured and couldn't be helped or carried, that they were to be terminated. Pretty damn heavy duty. Pretty heavy duty. And that guy knew he was going to be shot too. And he took it like he was supposed to, like a soldier. Like that was part of the agreement before they went on that mission. I'd never seen anything like that. It was interesting. And that's why I like apps like Telegram, because you get the unfiltered, uncensored stuff. Like I like getting the Israeli Defense Force information straight from the IDF instead of what the media decides to release or not release. Now it looks like Israel's going to be winding down its Gaza offensive. I think for the most part they've been very successful, which is an understatement. They have been brilliantly successful. Now I think they're focusing on Hezbollah in Lebanon. And I think the Israelis have just made a decision that they're going to have to deal with their enemies instead of hiding behind fences and dodging rockets. And I've said it before on my walks. If somebody was outside of Texas and Mexico shooting rockets every once in a while, killing civilians, it would not have taken this long to do something about it. But you have the international community and politics and basically the United States preventing them from doing that. And even Trump lately has been, you know, he's like, come on guys, you gotta wrap this up. This is going on too long. People are gonna turn against you. So the other interesting thing I saw was AOC had a Bronx rally this past weekend, and she didn't get that many people to turn up. She was one of the biggest loudmouths about Trump's huge crowd he had. People were coming in from New Jersey and this and that, and yeah, well, how many people came in to see your little thing you did? About 1,200 people, and I think that's being generous. So, but she was out there doing the optics, hopping around on the stage like it was this big giant concert. She was dancing around and thought it was really funny. She was trying to make it look like it was bigger than what Trump did. I guess she figured she could be so exciting on the stage that it would outdo Trump. And it came across as disingenuous and looking foolish, which it was. So it's really funny. So the Pride movement this month has taken a hit in the United States. It's not as popular as it was. I think people are finally realizing that this is stupid. I think people have had enough of it, finally. And I think we're going to see them vote like that coming up. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about, it's pretty sad actually, but Alex Jones was expecting it. He made everybody aware that that's what was going to happen. But he had his court date today, and the judge in that case ordered him to liquidate, and everything that is InfoWars is going to be sold off to pay debts for the Sandy Hook victims' families, which we all know is a political hit job because he helped Trump get elected. They have made him an enemy ever since. They brought up Sandy Hook years after it happened. The media kept talking about it and talking about it. Alex Jones wasn't talking about it. And then a lawsuit was finally filed by the family for damages because of mental damages, because supposedly Alex Jones keeps bringing it up. And it was actually the regular media torturing the families. Neither here nor there. They lawfared him, and they won. They got a sympathetic jury. And that's the story on that. But that's not the end of Alex Jones, because he's probably going to do like Tucker did. He'll get set up on X. Bill O'Reilly did similarly when he was fired from Fox News for alleged sexual misconduct, which he denies, and it's probably true that it never happened. But that see that's the target that they do. Dominion voting machines, they filed $1 billion lawsuit against Fox News for damages to their company for what they claim is false info. Fox just decided to pay it. They're a multi-billion-dollar corporation, so they can afford it. They just decided to pay it to make it go away. And part of the deal from Media Matters, because Media Matters has been trying to get Tucker Carlson fired forever and a week. They tried to get Bill O'Reilly fired. Anybody that was a successful conservative, they went after him. And I've always felt like Hannity was kind of wishy-washy. And coincidentally, Hannity is still there. He supported the vaccines. He wouldn't talk about the election fraud. He did like a good little boy and he shut up, so now he still has his job. So anyway, they got rid of Tucker because they inserted Tucker into the lawsuit as one of the conditions of the payment was you have to fire Tucker. Because Tucker was one of the people spreading misinformation about the voting machines. And he's a conspiracy theorist. So they're picking off all of these conservatives one by one with lawfare. And Media Matters tried to get sponsors to stop sponsoring these shows, so Fox News would lose hundreds of millions of dollars. That wasn't effective for them. And they went after Mike Lindell, my pillow guy. They got him pulled from Walmart stores, other store chains, Pure One Imports, whole bunch of outlets dropped my pillow. And all he did was he stood up for Trump and said the elections were rigged. In a country where you're supposed to have a First Amendment right, say whatever the hell you want. That's another one where the FBI seized his phones, which he got back. But that's cost him a lot of money in legal fees. It's cost Alex Jones a lot of money in legal fees. Tucker's gone from Fox News, but I think they're still paying him to pay out the rest of his contract. And he's setting up shop himself like O'Reilly did. O'Reilly is at O'Reilly.com, BillO'Reilly.com. He's also on YouTube. He's got a daily news program on there for a half hour every day. If you want to check it out. Name in town, name in town. If you wish to opine. Which I thought was cool because years ago, Bill O'Reilly put one of my emails on his show. I thought that was very cool. That was way back during the Iraq War. And I was criticizing Phil Donahue, of all people, when he was still on the air, who was ranting on about his stupidity. And as you can hear, the breeze is picking up a little bit. Feels really nice. Nice summer night tide. It's about 62, 63 degrees, but it feels like a warm 62, 63. You know what I mean? So, I kind of had a complaint from one of my viewers who said I was talking about a deer. Ooh, I just saw a deer. You see that deer? And I was pointing and they were like, no, I didn't see any deer. It was too dark. Well, I can't do anything about that. The only way to do something about that is to take the super view lens setting off. Then everything that has a light on it, like those tail lights while I'm walking, they'll all just be streaking all over the place and you can't see anything anyway. So, I do the best I can. I don't charge anybody a fee, so enjoy what you get. I think I'll go down this way. So anyways, there's a lot of cool stuff going on right now in politics. And if you're not into politics and you're watching this and they're like, Jace, you're talking about politics again. Well, look how it affects you. You know, the state of Maine just passed the trans bill, 72-hour waiting period. They wanted to pass a lot more than that. So they're not done yet. They're going to keep going, and they got a big majority. The people got to start talking to other people and say, hey man, you got to go vote. This is important stuff. We did get a nice win on the person that's going to be running against Jared Golden, a Democrat. That would be Austin Terrio, former NASCAR race driver, state of Maine representative, and it's from up north, conservative. We got rid of Mike Sobolewski, and I say that begrudgingly because he's one of those rhinos that make the right noises, but their actions don't show that that's what they mean. They just don't. He voted for corporate welfare with the Sea Dogs. I went into that on a previous walk. Not going to rehash too much of that. But, you know, he makes an Shannon Bellows for kicking Trump off the ballot. She should be impeached. He knew damn well she wasn't going to be impeached. And he knows damn well he needs a Trump vote. So that was a good opportunity for him to score points with Trump voters. And they were happy about that. But he didn't say Shannon Bellows shouldn't kick Trump off the ballot because he didn't do anything wrong and what they've done to him is terrible, and I support Donald Trump. That is not what he said. He's never said that. And that's something I've noticed. So he's pulling the rhino establishment. You know, he's been in politics for a long time. Yeah, he was at Ground Zero. He's been riding on that for years. Firefighter going through the rubble. God bless him, that was awesome. But between then and now, he's changed. So, as soon as Trump didn't endorse him, that was the kiss of death for him. That was it. And that wasn't even close. Austin Terrio won 2-1 margin over Sobolewski. The establishment, everybody knew who he was, Republican. So, I always go up this way. I'm going to go down this way and then swing back up this way. I got to plot my course to get 5 miles. Basically is what I'm doing. And I just hit 2. So, the benefits of having this camera on my chest like a body cam is very good picture quality for body cam footage. And it's watchable from what I've done already on my walks where I tested it. And again, when I used the daytime linear with horizontal correcting, there was a lot of bobbing up and down on my chest. But with the widescreen lens at night with no stabilization, it actually looked better. I was surprised by that because I was expecting a really terrible picture quality. I really was. But it wasn't. So with it right in the middle of my chest, walking, it's staying right in the middle without going left and right. So I have no idea why the daytime it looked worse. And it was still watchable in the daytime because it had the linear and horizontal, but it wasn't working like if I had it on my head. On my head it was perfect. Now when I have this on my head with no stabilizing, it goes left, right. This is a lot more stable. Right now it's raining. I don't think it's going to rain too hard. We'll see if I used good judgment. I looked at it online on the radar, and there were like holes in the clouds where it's raining. Usually that's indicative where you might have a quick shower but it might just be light rain. Plus it said 2/10 of an inch of rain an hour, which isn't much. Not much at all. 1/20th of an inch. So there's street down this way. So we'll walk down this way. Now I gotta tell you, I feel really good walking tonight. I've had 2 days off out of the last 7 from walking. And I think just that 2 days was enough to rejuvenate. I enjoy walking every day, but it's not something you have to do every day to reap benefits from it. So this is Nickel Street. My older brother used to live on this street a long time ago. And the next one up here, I believe, is Wood Street. Don't know if there's any trees left on it. Looks like there is. Got some raindrops. Once in a while you'll see my hand wipe the lens like that. Crossing Wood Street. So I got my iPad back from that repair. I was absolutely shocked. I'm telling you right now, I have bad-mouthed Apple because they have their stuff made Chinese parts, assembled in China, it says now. So I don't know where the parts are made. I think it's odd that it says assembled in China now. But they were using slave labor, and I wanted to boycott them over it. So any future Apple products, I'm not going to be buying any. But I wanted to mention that I had purchased an extended warranty for an extra couple years a while back. And it was a good thing I did, because I needed to get that repaired. And the same day they looked at it, they just issued a brand new iPad, an iPad 10. Brand new. Different serial number and everything. So it was in a box. I thought, well, geez, what are they going to, change the serial number and send me a new iPad that's just the one I sent them? I said there's nothing wrong with it. I suppose they would have the technology to issue a new serial number. So as far as I know, it's not the one I had. It, however, didn't really fix the problem I had. I closed my protector for the case and cover. It doesn't turn the screen off. That's what the other one was doing. So it would not surprise me if they just put a new serial number. It said there was nothing wrong with it. because they looked at it and you could track it online. I sent it on a Thursday. They got it on a Friday. Or I sent it on a Wednesday. They got it on a Thursday. And then they shipped it out the day they got it. And according to the time thing I looked at, I don't even think it was 2 hours after they started working on it. So I don't know what they did to determine, because the tech guy on the chat thing gave him permission to access my iPad remotely, and he took the diagnostics information off it, said there was nothing wrong with it, so send it in. So it would not surprise me if they were looking at it and didn't find anything wrong with it, and they sent it out anyway, because it's doing what it did. So I don't feel like dealing with this all over again. They gave me another 3 months of free Apple TV streaming and other stuff like they do with new equipment. And I don't think they can say it's new equipment if it isn't, legally. So the one I sent them was in such good shape that it would be difficult to tell if this wasn't a new one anyway, because I use a screen protector on it. And I also had it in a really good quality protective case. So more importantly, the backup I did of it, it didn't recognize the new iPad. So that was the other thing. So we got 2.5 miles right now. Students are all gone. That's why there's no cars on this street. Usually this street is lined with cars. You've seen one of my walks before where license plate after license plate. There's a whole bunch of different states. Oh, freaking bug just flew right in my eye. Better fly in my eye than down my throat. That's happened before. I hate that. Wouldn't be too bad tonight because I'm not breathing too hard. I breathed one in once walking up a steep hill. That was not fun. So I didn't bring the umbrella tonight. I brought it the other night. I didn't upload that video. I was walking with the umbrella, and you gotta hold it up like this. Then you gotta change hands. Then you gotta change it back. Try to find a way to rest it on my head so I could just walk. And it just told me, well, this is exactly why they invented that umbrella you wear on your head. But I'm wearing a ball cap. It's not pouring out. As you can see, the road's getting wet. I'm sure you can see it's raining. If not, then like whatever. WRBC radio. Years ago, that used to be happening. They still do it, not like they used to. And they still stream online. I think it's wrbcradio.com or .org or something like that. I'm sure a internet search would come up with it. But I used to do a show there, and I would give a shout out to somebody listening at a local pizza place, which was really cool. And not too long after that, a freaking pizza delivery thing showed up with a free pizza. And it wasn't always like freshly made. It's like somebody ordered a pizza and never picked it up, or they made one and they'd end up just throwing it away later at the end of the night. So they would bring me a pizza every once in a while. I just mentioned the pizza place on the air. Not advertising for it, just talking about it. And they would send one over. Oh, that was cool. Everybody likes free pizza. I do. So we're across the street from Bates College. It is raining. Start making my way back. My younger brother was like, I ain't walking in no rain. It's really not bad. If it was cold, it wouldn't be good. But this is kind of a warm night. Hope we don't get a thunderstorm. I didn't see any on the thing. But it is raining. It's raining harder now. But I'm wearing a long sleeve with a shirt on that. I'll probably get a little moist, a little wet. I like these lights that look like gas lamps. They actually used to have real gas lamps on Bates College campus here. College has been here since the 1800s. Pretty cool, I think. Historic. This is that bush we saw earlier this year with all the beautiful flowers all over it. And now they're just bushes again. Because bushes do that. So I will do my walk, and get my walk in. So yeah, that's pretty upsetting about Alex Jones, and you got a lot of people online saying, well, that's what you get doing that with Sandy Hook, blah blah blah, he deserves it. I don't think he understands that it was lawfare. It was determined he was guilty before that even started. It was a civil trial. They got Trump the same way. All you need is a judge to make it look like you're guilty. Say this is okay information to give, this isn't, this has nothing to do with the case, it's irrelevant, even though it is. And that's what they did. So now I was really impressed with Andrew Cuomo. He was on the Bill Maher show, and I talked about this on a previous walk, but I think it's a walk I didn't upload. And if it did, well, you'll have to listen to it again. But anyways, former governor of New York, who used to be the AG in New York, by the way. That's what they do. They start out as a lawyer in a firm, and then they run for the attorney general after kissing the right bottoms. They get the votes they need, they get the backing of the donors, and the elite class in New York, who you have to play along with their baloney. I'm going to stay on this side over here. So anyway, he runs for office, and he wins. He's attorney general, pretty successful at it. That's when it was still, fair in New York, believe it or not. And he was on the Bill Maher show, and a little crying Adam Kinzinger sitting next to him. And Kinzinger absolutely hates Trump. He was on the J6 committee. So Cuomo says that this case against Trump shouldn't have been brought. He said this was very obviously, and he goes, I used to be AG of New York. I can absolutely tell you this case never would have been brought if it wasn't Donald Trump running for the president. And he said people are rightfully upset about it. And he goes, quote, they should be, because this is the core of our democracy, our justice system that is being used for something that it should not be used for. And the people are rightfully upset about it, and they're voting for Trump. That's coming from Andrew Cuomo. You know about him, he's no fan of Trump. But I think a lot of it might have had to do with Letitia James. I think he has personal animus with Letitia James because she's the one that went after Cuomo because she had her eyes on the governorship. And she came up with sexual allegations against him, which he couldn't defend, and he resigned, if you remember. So she did that to him. She's the one that went after Trump. So I think he had personal skin in the game with her. Doesn't like her. And I think that's why he said that on HBO on Bill Maher's show without mentioning her name. He didn't mention Bragg's name either. He just said this shouldn't have been brought. And people are rightfully upset about it because it was wrong to do. So people know Trump's innocent, okay? People know. They know that. He's going to appeal it and he'll win, but the election will be over by the time he gets a chance to do it. And they're hoping this will sink him enough to lose. Because you really don't have room to lose even 2% of the vote, 3%. There's really no room for that. And I saw a couple of polls that said independents changed by right around 1%, maybe. But it's a long time between now and the election. And we're having a debate this week. And personally, I think it's going to help Trump that CNN's going to have control of his microphones, because they're going to turn off his mic so he can't be heard, because he's going to want to interrupt. And he did that in 2020 and it actually didn't help him. Anybody knows that didn't help him. And the reason why I say that is people just saw them slugging it out back and forth. None of the issues really got discussed. It became a personal kind of exchange. And I think people want to see the topics. The good news is Trump's going to be able to speak and Biden's mic will be off. And they're not going to let Trump go on past his allotted time to speak either. Now, the other thing is, CNN's ratings, in case you haven't been following it, they're the worst out of cable news in a gazillion years. They can't afford a debate scandal where they're going obviously against Trump. And I think Trump is a genius with that, because he accepted the debate with CNN he accepted Jake Tapper. Now you have to remember, Jake Tapper is the one last year that said Trump was another Hitler. And well, not last year, he did it last year too, but he also did that when Trump was president in 2020. He called the sitting president Hitler. And it wasn't a euphemism. It was, this guy is the same thing as Hitler. The United States needs to get rid of him in this election. And Trump could have just said, well, he called me Hitler when I was president, so I don't want him as the debate host, the moderator. I just don't want him. He's not going to be fair. And no, Trump didn't do that. He was like, yeah, okay, let's go. He goes, I'll be debating 3 people, but that's okay. It's not the first time that's happened, he said. And I think he knew that this stuff that Jake Tapper said about him was going to come out and make its rounds on social media, which it has. It was trending today. It's going to trend all week. Everybody's showing the film clips of Jake Tapper being unfair and biased when CNN was out of control, and they still are. Oh, this isn't the one I want. I thought I was on the other street. Oh, I guess I'm going to walk further than I wanted to. That's okay. Everything looks so different at night. So anyways, it's going to be interesting to watch. I think CNN ought to just pull Jake Tapper and put somebody else. Surely they must have somebody else capable. And then you had that other woman who was doing the same thing with Trump last year. So they ought to just pull Jake Tapper and have that blonde-haired woman do it. CNN has to be fair with this. They do. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, CNN's just going to leak the questions to the White House. And I'm on the side of it where people accused MSNBC and NBC of leaking the questions in 2016 with Hillary. And that wasn't NBC that did that. Donna Brazile did that. She's the one that got her hands on those and leaked them to the Hillary campaign. She was the campaign manager for Hillary. So they obtained those in ways that they still haven't admitted. Might have been illegal. They might have hacked it. I don't know what they did. If they hacked it, you'd never hear about it because the media wanted Trump to lose. So, but CNN's not going to leak, okay? They're not going to leak the debate questions to the Biden campaign. I may live to eat those words, but CNN can't afford that right now. Literally, they're losing tons of money. People aren't watching them. They've blown their integrity. They have to do something honest and have integrity again. And they're just going to have to. Now, I know you're rolling your eyes. You're going to say, yeah, but John, come on. Come on, man. You know, they're cheering for Trump to lose. They'll make up stuff that's true. But you're trying to get people to vote against Trump. You can't do it by getting busted for cheating. You're going to lose that independent crowd. You're just going to lose them. I mean, you're going to have your regular 25% that would vote for a friggin' log you paint blue and say that's the Democrat candidate. I mean, they think Kamala Harris is good. She's a friggin' turnip. So, with that being said, I mean, realistically, with a debate as big as it's going to be this week, they can't afford that. And Biden's not going to have any earpiece. He's not going to have a teleprompter. He's not going to have cue cards. And if he tries to, Trump needs to say something about it. And I think the best tactic Trump should do at this debate is let Biden speak and then say, wait for the question to be asked by Jake Tapper. And Trump would say, yeah, I'll answer that in a second, but what I'd really like to know is why Biden said this about me. What proof does he have of that? Turn the tables that way. Fact check. You know, they keep going on with these things made up about Trump that have been proven and debunked a long time ago. So the Biden campaign has taken lying to a new level because nobody's holding them accountable in the media. They honestly, all of them, they all feel no matter what, Trump cannot win and be president again. He just can't at all costs. So yeah, I get it. And somebody says they're going to leak the debate questions. But, you know, what are they going to leak? Stuff we know already? You know? It's just going to be stuff we already know. Realistically, I mean, how much of an advantage is it? It just gives Biden time to rehearse answers. Hillary gave answers during her debate. Sounded like she had practiced them, because she did. Now the other thing is they're hiding Biden away at Camp David this week. And I think they're working on a drug concoction that works, where he's not too hyper like he was at the State of the Union, but he can be coherent and string sentences together. But he's gotten worse. We've all seen it. So I saw an interview with him just from 2020, and it was night and day. So something happened between when he was elected in 2020, which he was still doing bad then, and now, where he has really declined. So I think they're practicing this week on what works and what doesn't, strategies and tactics. You got to make sure you're forceful, but don't be too upset. And I think the best thing Trump could do, to be honest with you, is just show up and be presidential without arguing with him. Because then Biden is going to have to raise his voice and be, you know, this and that and this and that. He's going to come off sounding like an angry old senile white man, and Trump can just be presidential. Wouldn't that throw them for a loop for the first, because they're going to be shutting off his mic anyway. So you ought to use that against them. Come out and be presidential and really throw a monkey in the wrench, because I mean, what are they going to do? Biden can't be all upset and angry to stay focused and not stutter and stammer. If we had that debate this week and Biden is coherent and has good answers, it's not good. It puts the whole narrative that he's senile and demented to bed, because that's what they did after the State of the Union. Oh, best State of the Union ever. He was coherent. There's nothing wrong with him. Wasn't even a week later. You know, he went and said and did some stupid things, couldn't talk. So they're doing something with him medically. And that's why the Trump campaign and other prominent Republicans are demanding a drug test before the debate, not now. And Trump said, I'll happily do that. I got no problem with that at all. So that would be interesting. And of course the Democrats just make jokes about that. Well, Donald's probably going to have to subject to a semi-annual drug test anyway as a condition of his probation. Sniff, sniggle, sniggle, snicker, snicker, laugh. These people have no idea what's coming to them. And he knows how to keep the media talking about him. That's the other thing I like about him. Some people have had different thoughts on it. where Trump should be more presidential this time. He was already the president. But he's always punching uphill. And that's just his style. You hit him, he hits back. And I think if he was presidential, it'd probably hurt him. Because a lot of people are not happy with what's going on right now. They're not going to want some freaking soft presidential guy talking. At least I don't want to hear that. I want some damn action. Had enough of this garbage. But you're trying to win the independents. That's what really... Because you can't win without independence. And right now, Trump has a big lead in Arizona. A big lead. You know, they snuck Katie Hobbs in there as governor, and she's gone full woke on everything. A lot of people there feel they stole the election, because they did. So the polls are showing that. Now I'm hoping the nationwide polls show something like that. I was also happy to look at the poll for New York. Biden was at 46% and Trump was at 38%. That's 8 percentage points in New York. That's not horrible. They flipped some seats red during the last election. So there's a resurgence of Republicans in New York. Trump has been going to New York City. He did a couple times. Held that rally in the Bronx. And I think he'll be going back there again. I think he wants to make sure he wins. Now, I honestly don't believe this Judge Juan Merchan, is going to sentence Trump to jail. For one thing, he can't, because of the Secret Service and being a former president and national security. And quite honestly, New York does not have the prison space for that. They can't take like a whole wing of Rikers Island, close it off, and it's just Trump's. Not to mention the upsetting calamity that would do on our elections. They just can't do that. Even if they do that, it won't last long, because the Supreme Court is going to say they're screwing with our elections. And the Supreme Court is also going to be ruling on his the other thing that they were going to rule on was unanimous decisions, because there's another court case coming out there's actually 2 court cases. I think one is in Texas and one's in California, where one of them, this woman had she got lawfared, okay, in Texas. And she ticked off the mayor of her town, didn't like what she said, and she was forced out of her job, and they prosecuted her. And they found her guilty. Misdemeanor. But they found her guilty with the jury. And it was not unanimous. It was one of those things like they did with Trump. Now, this is going to be going to the Supreme Court, too. Now, if the Supreme Court says that unanimous decisions, you can't break it up like that and use counts from this crime and that crime and piece it together, then the whole Trump case in New York's gone. So, also you had the other case for the documents, where he was president at the time. So, how much immunity does he get while he's president? That's never been ruled on. So the Supreme Court, I think, is going to rule on that too. So we're going to see a lot of things we've never seen before coming up. It's going to be really interesting. We've never seen anything like this in our history. And you have to say, what a time to be alive, because the government this week was ordered not to interfere with censorship on the internet for this election. They did it for the last one. But the Supreme Court ruled on that, and so have the lower courts. And documents came out that showed that the FBI and DOJ were coercing Facebook and other places. And they're not going to be allowed to do that this year, allegedly. We'll see what happens. Maybe they won't care. We're going to do it anyway. It's friggin' Trump. We can't have him as president, and we'll settle later. One of those kind of things, maybe. So, what a time to be alive, seriously. I mean, we are going to see some stuff we've never seen before in this country. We already have former president being prosecuted because he's running for office. And you have to remember, the media was absolutely brutal with Abraham Lincoln. You know, he's a great hero of this country. Even the Democrats praise him. But the Democrats back in the day, they wanted him dead. In fact, the Democrats the one that shot him in the head. The South had lost the war, and the North was making changes that they didn't want. And the newspapers wrote horrible things about Abraham Lincoln. All of these media people talk about Abraham Lincoln, greatest president, this and that, and kept our country together. And that's not what happened at the time. They were awful, okay? They were the reasons why we had a civil war. So everybody decided to get along for the sake of getting along, but we're seeing them do it again. So this is that really steep hill going this way. Hope you're enjoying watching me suffer. I am hot and sweaty. Oh, rain on my face feels good. It's like a drizzle. So anyway, man, we're gonna see some stuff. Hang on to your heinies, folks. Ooh, feel my hamstrings. Ooh, this is a serious hill. I usually take the side neighborhood. Not this time. It's either take this hill or walk an extra mile. So we're almost there. Whew. Almost at the top. Whew. Oh my goodness. That is one nasty hill. No cars tonight, it's nice. Here comes one. Two coming towards me. One coming behind me too. See, that's always dangerous because he's coming from behind me, but he's got two cars coming towards him on a hill. So he'll have two sets of headlights in his face while I'm in front of him. There's always a chance he won't see me. But I think of those things before they're here. And that's the difference. Because I'm used to walking and how people behave. So most people see you. Some people don't. And that's really the danger. It's always that couple of oddballs. So going up that hill, right now I just hit 4.5 miles, and I am soaked with sweat. I am saturated, dripping down my neck and my back, and that hill really got the juices flowing. There's not much of a breeze tonight. Well, there is, but it's like it's not on me. I just see trees moving around. It's like, come down here. Anyways, what a crazy time to be alive, huh? Look at all the stuff we're seeing. We're seeing a media that is so corrupt. They're literally no longer a media. The only media is the independents, and they're picking them off one by one. Alex Jones, this and that. And they've gotten caught doing things to Alex Jones, like the FBI trying to set him up on child porn by sending him an email with an attachment. And according to the law, you get an attachment that has porn in it. That's illegal. You're guilty. You clicked on it. They can tell you opened it. They don't even care if it's, well, I opened it and threw it away. They don't care. They don't care. If they're trying to charge you with that, they'll just charge you. That's it. So they tried to get him on that, and I guess he had some kind of software that would scan it first without opening it. And he said he found a couple of those buried in about 30,000 emails he had. They were from the FBI. So we will overcome this, and we will win. There's too many of us. They're actually the minority doing all of this. Problem is, you get so many people that don't know what to do, and you get a lot of people that don't know what's going on. If they did, they would not like it. And that's what we saw in Europe. Conservative wins in Europe like never seen before, ever. Historic. Because they went crazy with all this woke stuff and they made everybody mad. I saw in the UK a video clip today from, I think it was Thursday or Friday last week. This guy got stopped by the police because they have facial recognition software and cameras. The cop saw the guy cover his face. He covered his face so the facial recognition couldn't read who he was. So they stopped him. They were asking him why he did that. What is he hiding in? And they were going to arrest him. And the guy that was talking there with him said, no, you're not going to arrest them. It's not against the law. You can't do that. He told the guy, just walk. Just walk off. They can't do a damn thing. They're trying to intimidate you. Now, I've seen other clips where brigades of people have been going out with chop saws and sawzalls. And they've been chopping all of these camera things down, causing thousands and thousands of dollars in damage. But they're learning from the left. They're wearing masks, wearing hoodies, hiding their identities, and they're just walking up. They already know where these are. They just walk up real quick, cut them down, and then walk off. And that's how you fight back against these bastards in Europe. That's what they're doing. They're figuring it out. They're going to find out it's a lot more difficult to control the population than they think it is. When people think they're free and you take it away from them, nope. That's not going to play well with people. Not going to happen. They're going to have to fight to install a police state. That was the other thing that just annoyed me about AOC. She was on and on and on about Trump said fight, fight. He was inciting violence. Well, she did that Bronx thing this weekend. We gotta fight, we gotta fight. She's screaming fight, fight, fight. So people were like, Jace, you guys are friggin' hypocrites. And they always end up making themselves look dumb because they do dumb things like that. So now there's video clips of her going viral talking about people fighting, fight, fight, fight. It's comical. Thought I heard something. Yep, pretty dead out here. phone flashlight on, because that street light is still out over here. I'll hold this right next to the camera so you can see where I'm walking. There's a little bit. Oh, car's coming. Cut across. Any deer out here today? A lot of times if I stand here and shine a light, I'll see the light shine on some deer eyeballs. Pretty quiet tonight. Once I get to the street light up ahead, I'll shut my cell phone light off. Shut this off now. There we go. Thank you for walking with me. We're just over 5 miles. I'll walk on up ahead here for a little bit, sign off with you. Say thank you very much for walking with me. Hope you enjoyed that. I had a good walk tonight. Ooh, getting hungry. Might cook some linguine. That might be good. Whip up some sauce, diced tomatoes, chuck an onion in there maybe. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Take a shower first. Whew. Yep, so anyways, thank you very much for checking out this walk. My younger brother is going to be back this Friday. It'll be late. I go shooting Saturday. Should be fun. I'll shoot some video and have something for the channel. Not sure what yet. I'm not sure exactly what we'll be shooting. We are going to be shooting 9mm. That much is for sure. Doesn't look like we're going to have the best weather this weekend either. So I might end up shooting some video when it's raining a little bit, or showers, or something. But we'll definitely be going regardless. So anyways, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Share the video content. We're going to have a couple of cool firearms to shoot this week. The Colt 22, 1911. Also the Henry Homesteader 9mm carbine. Really excited about that one. It finally came in. I'm going to pick it up later this week. So that should be that. So I've been getting plenty of battery life walking at night. Big difference. Big difference. You don't have all this automatic leveling stuff going off all the time. So I'll stop recording when we get to the end of this here. I got my 5 miles in. We'll have a little over. It's not even that late. It's just quiet tonight. All right. .5 miles. Had some good trail mix before my walk too. That was nice. I think that contributed to the walk tonight actually. Had some raisins in it. Really good for you, raisins. Raisins and dates. Good energy for walking. Natural sugars, fiber, all that good stuff. All right, folks, I'm coming up to the Pizza Hut here, where traditionally that's where I sign off. I've done over 5.5 miles tonight. I still got a little ways to go, but I will end it here because I'm in that habit and that pattern. Hope you have a beautiful week. Catch the debate this week. Trump and Biden should be entertaining. I'm going to enjoy it one way or the other. And no, it's not really going to make a difference. People know who they're voting for. They just want to see if Biden is as decrepit as we said. Basically all people are they're interested in. So the pressure is all on Biden. And with that, have a beautiful week, everybody. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye now. Stay safe.